how we can work with the PNP PowerShell script. Okay, now in this session we'll check how we can execute our PNP PowerShell script with the Camel Query. So what is the Camel Query? Means earlier what we did, we directly pass the ID while to get the filtered list atom, okay, in a PNP PowerShell script. So if you can see here in earlier session what we did, see what we did, we just directly pass the atom ID, and when we directly pass the atom ID it will retrieve that atom ID, because atom ID means each list having ID associated with it, and we pass that specific ID. But now in this case what I want to do, here I pass the identity and atom ID, okay, but now the scenario a bit different. So I'll go into my SharePoint list here and I want to fetch filtered list atom. So consider what I want to fetch. Consider I want to fetch this entry having work ID is something. I edit the work ID for this list atom. Let me say Mahi -9. Okay, so this is the work ID. Mahi -9 is the work ID, and then status is approved. So I hope you understand the criteria. So what kind of atom I want to retrieve. So here you can see the requirement is that I want to retrieve the atom work ID. Work ID is a Mahi 9, and I'm saying and status is app. Okay, so for that purpose I need to apply some filter in my PNP PowerShell script. So how I can do that? So I'll go into my code part. So first thing what we do, we take the URL, site URL, then we take the credential. Here I pass the site URL, pass the credentials. You know this is normal procedure. Update list atom by query. This function I have written here. See, function update list atom by query, and here as we discussed earlier, in a query in a PowerShell we need to write the function above the calling calling the function. Okay, I call function here and I have written define my function here. So here I pass the list name. My list name is the work details. Okay, and this is the part of the query. Okay, so I remove this part of the query. Okay, for better understanding, because our main concentration is on query. So while query the data means I want filtered data. So how you can get the filtered data? So for that purpose, what I do, for that purpose, Camel Query is there. What is there? Camel Query. I say SharePoint online Camel Query. Okay, so Camel Query. So what is the Camel Query? I just open one blog and I'll show you. Just take the overview of the Camel Query. What is the Camel Query and all? Okay, so Camel Query, here if we go in this blog, so here you can see the one query here. The Camel Query is a bit simple and straightforward. We need, this is a syntax. It's a syntax similar to the XML syntax. Okay, so the Camel Query, known as collaborative markup language, is XML based language querying and updating SharePoint object like list and library. Camel Query helps us to retrieve the items from the SharePoint list based on the various condition as well as order and item numbers. Okay, items return. Okay, so for that purpose we use the Camel Query. So for condition here, query where equal to, where means there is some condition, here equal to field name. There is a field name we pass and what value of that field, and then we say equal to, eq means, and again where bracket is closed, and ordering means what kind of ordering you want. So you can put that ordering here. Okay, so here you can see there are some operators in a Camel Query. Okay, there are some operators. Here you can see eq is written. Eq means equal to. If you want to fetch here field name greater than something, then you say gt here. Here you can say greater than or less than, or greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Okay, so these are different operators which are used while writing the Camel Query. Okay, to write the Camel Query, advanced Camel Query, we require, there is a tool which is called as Camel Query Builder. So you can quickly get online Camel Query builder tool, or you can click here. The link is provided here. Some here is the link. This you see, download the Camel Query. I have downloaded the Camel. I go here on this site. After this is a Camel Query tool. This is a third party tool. Okay, if your organization will allow, if your organization policy support, then you can install or download this. You need to go with this option and say install here. This is for SharePoint 2010, but we require this one. Okay, so then I have downloaded and I have installed. Then we see like this. Okay, so you see something like this. You need to say connect here. After connection, you need to pass your uh, site for which you are going to connect, and you need to pass your credential and say connect. Okay, then you will see all the list associated within your uh, list. Okay, so my list is a work detail. If I click on work detail list, you can see here nothing is there. I want to pass some query on a work detail. I say new query. Okay, so what you want to do, I just go here and say get list items. Okay, get list item is also one query. So I say get list item and you say fields. Just a minute, query work detail. Just a minute, I close this. No, it's not just word details, few fields, result. Get list items. Few fields, I say ID. Okay, I have selected all the items. It will automatically generate the query here. Okay, so what I do, I remove all. I take only this one, double click. Okay, see, few fields. See what I'm saying. Query, my query is saying, see, query syntax is query few fields means I want these two fields, few fields, getting? Then field reference name, and field reference name is here, and few field. Few field means what are the different field data you want. For that we write the view field. Okay, and if you want the filter data, see how this query will generate. Again I will go here. I say filter work ID equal to say mahi hyphen 9. Okay, so 9. Okay, mahi hyphen 9. You can see query automatically generated here. Query where equal to, see here, field reference. Field reference means on which field you want to perform the equal to operation. Then value, see it's saying field reference is a title, is a field reference. Work ID having internal name title. Value type is text, and text value type, what is the value type? Is text. It's not number or it's not a choice. If drop down is there, then the type will be different. Okay, we'll see that. And here I say mahi 9 and equal to, see this is the simple query. If I write this plain query, then what happen? It will retrieve all the field data. But if I say few fields, means what it mean by few field, mean by means I want only this two column data. See how it works. Okay, so if I see result, I say execute query and going to see there is only one column. See, oh, sorry, only one entry with the title and this column, and other field, other columns. See, other columns are those will by default columns. It will come with your list items. Internally, these columns will require for SharePoint. Okay, but now what I do, I'll go in my editor. Okay, and here I will say few fields. What are the additional fields I want? I say status is also I want status. Okay, see the result. Execute query. Every time you need to say status column will be appear here. Okay, so again I will go here, and now in this case I remove this few field part. I remove this few field part and say execute query. See, when I remove this few field part and say execute query, just a minute, parameters, just a minute. So see Camel Query, how advanced Camel Query is there. Let me show you. Status item ID. Just a moment guys. How to close this? Just a moment. I'm just because it's showing me old data only, status and item count. So every what I need to do, I'll close this query also. Again I will go here, say new query or get from existing list, no problem. And here I will say work ID is equal to mahi 9. Okay, so here this is my query. I execute this query, see the result. In this result you can see all the columns are retrieved here, all the columns. Means it put load on server, okay, to fetch all these details. Okay, so there are many unwanted columns, okay, but I don't want those columns. So for that purpose, what I need to do, I need to filter those columns. Okay, so view field option is there. So here view field is not there. So why let me query with a here simple query with a view field. If you take this query with a view field, then it will see. I delete this old one. I take this. Okay, again I need to write and view field. View field means what more fields you want. Okay, so you know that the purpose of view field. Again, now what I do, I will put the filtration criteria like this. I go in my list, mahi 9. I want mahi 9 with a status is equal to approve. You can see the status is equal to approve from work detail list. So it will retrieve only one entry, and I want query for that, so that I can use that query in my code here. Here you can use my query in my PNP PowerShell script. So what we do, we go, sorry, I close this part, go in UML. Okay, so this tool, Camel Query Builder is a tool. It helped me to retrieve and get the items. Okay, so here are two conditions. Means and condition is there, and condition is associated with it. So how will write it? And here I say okay, and is already selected. So I say work ID equal to mahi 9. Again status equal to, here you can see it's, you know that status is a choice column, that's why it's automatically showing me columns. Okay, okay, now here observe here, here you can see the value type of a field, which is a choice now. Okay, this is the choice. You can see the choice, it automatically put the choice as a value type field here, computed. Earlier maybe I have selected, if I select this work ID, then it's giving me link title. Because why this happened, because the title column, if we go in a list, the title is a default column, and in that there are many associated different columns there in a title. If you go here and edit current view, you see that what are the different associated title columns. Work ID is my column. If I go here, normal work ID, normal link to atom, you are getting. So here also work ID is there, work ID linked to atom with the edit menu, you are getting. If you take, see what I do, I just show you different. This is the title column, I put it on a second position, I put this on a third position. So by default, whenever I create title column, come up with the three different columns with the three different properties. Okay, so here I think it's not updated. Let me refresh. Edit, let me say edit current view. 2 3 1 is this, and I give the 2 and 3 number to this. 2 and this one is a checkbox, and this one is a 3. Okay, and I'll say okay. all items view. Let me check. See here. This is work ID with a link. This is work ID with a link. This is also link. Okay. I click on this link, then see what it will open. It will open view form. Okay. Then if I click on this, that will also open the same form. If I click on this, same form. Okay. If you check it on the classic mode, at that time you feel the difference. It's in a modern view. That's why we are not getting the difference. But we have, as you can see, the title column with the two different columns. In a classic view, what happens if I click on this, it will open edit form. If I click on this, it will open view form. If I click, it will not click, it just as it is. Okay, so this is the difference between that. I remove these things. Okay, now I will go our main core area. I hire disable view these columns. So work ID and status column I will take it a bit up as the second position. Okay, so this is the second. Okay, now here, now what is my requirement? ID is 9 and status is approved. So I go here. Okay, now approved. So here my query is ready, but my main intention is what I want to do here in my PNP PowerShell script. I want to update. Okay, I want to update title field. See, field value, I want to update the field value. Okay, work title or whatever the field value, we put those values in array here. Okay, whatever the details we need to update. So here I want to update these things. So for that purpose, what I say, I just retrieve the field with the ID only. Okay, or just what I do, I'll go in a few field. Okay, if you don't put anything, it will retrieve. Let me check what it will retrieve. If we don't put anything, execute query, it will not retrieve anymore. Okay, only ID and whatever the default column it will retrieve, because in your editor you can see you said here few fields only, few field, but you have not put any intentionally column name. Okay, I say few field with the work ID and status. Okay, here. Okay, both the fields are added here, and you can go here, execute. You can see title and status, both the columns are here. Okay, those are also those will not required, but still we put. Okay, and now my query is ready. If you put only few fields, it will fetch only ID created by, modified by, whatever the default columns. Okay, now but keep in mind that always put a few field, otherwise it will retrieve the unwanted data. Okay, which is not required. Okay, so I copy my query here. Okay, after copying query, you need to go here in your code, so you understand that how we can write the camel query. We can apply the different condition or and whatever the here or and condition, and we will get the filtered data. Now I will put my query here. Here I put my query here. Okay, so my query is like this. See here, my query is okay, where and all. Okay, so while writing the query, just a minute. Oh, this one or this backslash. Okay, so this is the query, but this query will not work out because the query will be in single line format. Okay, single line format. So what I do, I put here curly braces to that query and put plus to concatenate with the next line. Okay, so here like this. So keep habit, don't like query in a single line like this. Like this. This is single line query. It will not helpful. Okay, so keep mind that query will be in a tabular format with proper plus here, and it will concatenate. This plus will not required. Okay, so it will concatenate with the next line. So I just put those things here. Okay, you need to concatenate all the line by line, otherwise it will give you error, and this is a standard practice. Again, I'm saying you don't put camel query in a single line, otherwise it will give error. Sometimes interviewer asks you to write one and query, so you please note this point. Write down the query, camel query. What is the camel query? Okay, so these are basic simple questions interviewer asks. And query, write down the and query. I want to fetch the employee ID with number this having salary greater than this. So like this query they will ask. Okay, and our query has been finished. Okay, now this is my query is ready. And now what we are doing, this is work detail list, then get PNP list atom list name query. In our document here SPO is written there, but you need to change to PNP because PNP is updated now. Now here you need to put a get list name. We have given the list name here in one variable, and a query means this query will be passed here. See, it will save your time, means you don't write more thing in that, just single line will fetch the list item. But if you use the CSOM client object model, you need to create a web object, list object, site object, and all object hierarchy. You know that yesterday I explained you. Okay, now uh, here you can see once it will say atom, it check here not equal to null. Not equal to null means it's check that this atom should, it will be null. Okay, means it will not contain anything. Now field value, what fields you want to update? I say product title, means Mahi 9. We are fetching the title column is our this column, you know that title. Where is that? Okay, so this is the title, work ID is the title column. Okay, so here Mahi 9, I will update the with the uh, Mahi 11. Okay, I update it with the 11. Then this is a title, this is a work title, internal name is like this, and product details. Okay, I have updating this. Now here this is the way we need to pass the array with the key value. This is the key and this is the value, means this is the column name and this is the value. It will update the things. In normal script we need to write one by one. Okay, list atom in a bracket, the column name, and then say equal to. Okay, here it's simplify. Then set PNP list atom list name identity atom is equal to atom value. See, identity atom, so you know that this is the atom, this is the atom which is retrieved from your query, and that's why I directly pass the atom identity here. If the collection will retrieve, if it retrieve the multiple atoms, it if it will retrieve, I say get PNP list atom. Try to understand, that's why it retrieve only single atom. If it retrieve multiple items, you need to go with the for loop, and through the for loop you can update the multiple items. Okay, so now here we can say here is the method which will get called here. Okay, so again I will show you how it execute. Okay, and you know that at the end it connect with the client.svc and retrieve the data. Okay, so let's see how it execute. Check that we'll get the error in case there is error in our query. Okay, there is a error in your query. So SPD panel cannot convert system.object or type in process base list pipeline required. Identity parameter identity method is not support. Identity here we have used identity here. Okay, so it's saying that identity parameter identity is not supported. SP PNP list atom. Okay, so set SP PNP list atom identity atom is not supported here. So just a minute, I put the breakpoint and I check that what value it retrieve. Okay, I put the breakpoint here. Actually, every time I need to pass the credential. You check that how we can put the credentials in line. It hit the breakpoint now. Okay, so I say F9, F10. Okay, title Mahi 7 C. Means here our query has been failed. It retrieved the 3 items. It retrieved all 3 items. Means our query has been failed here. Okay, means query is not working fine. It retrieved all the 3 items, but our expectation is only one item, that is the Mahi -9. Okay, so there is some issue in our query. Let's check. I just press F5. Okay, and now I will look into my query Mahi. Maybe the title here in title, make it a title. Here I put the text as per my basic understanding. So text status is the choice, approved. Okay, and status field. Okay, so again I will execute. Okay, breakpoint hit there. Now I press the F10. See how we debug the code. Take the cursor here. Again 3 lines. Again means the issue. Okay, means the query is not working fine. It retrieve all the items here. Again it will use us error here. See, and I say what I do now, title margin and status view field. I think let me stop debugging. View fields, get items list query, view fields. Just a moment. Let me check with the fields. View. Just a moment. Query. I'll remove this part for time being. Check that whether it's work or not. Just to go here. See, to try all 3 items. Still there is an issue. So let's me check exact syntax. View is required, I think, here. So I put the view top of this. Bottom also I put the view. First we fulfill our filtration criteria, then we go into the field option, means how we can pass the field. Make see Camel Query Builder gives us the query structure will be fine, but field name and all those things we face challenges in that. F10. See, nothing is retrieved here. So let me check query. PNP list item cannot complete the action. PNP list item. Sorry, query is wrong here. I need to do the back. This thing's missing. Okay, I have not closed the view tag. Okay, now I have closed it. Now again I'll check F10. See, only on enter. You can see means my item has been filtered correctly now. Okay, now see. Okay, this is working fine, and my entry will be updated in a list. Here you can uh, see product details. See here, it update the product details and is changed to the Mahi 11. Okay, means our item has been updated. But now the issue with view means it fetch all the items, but I required only selected items. So what I check here, SharePoint online PNP PowerShell with Camel Query view fields. Okay, let me check. So view failed. PNP PowerShell get list item in Camel. Here is a view only, but I want view fields. See here also the query greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. See the syntax. Syntax is very important here. And for that purpose, for syntax purpose, means and mapping or mapping, this U2U Camel Query Builder is really helpful. Let me check for few fields. Value in operator. I'm checking for a view field. I think view field is not there. So guys, I think in a PNP view field option is not showing many blocks. up to view only. Means view field is not there, so no need to put the view field here. Okay, so I have removed that view field. So in you understand that how we can update the list item and how we can fetch the list item. The important part is here is this and condition, and then here where we will close the and where we need to put the and. Okay, so let me this block. Okay, in this block you can see this query, multiple and or operator, and here, this and close here, but this and closing here. Okay, this is our condition within that, you can see. So like this way you need to understand how it work and all. Okay, so I'll give the reference of this blog. You go through this blog and understand and implement the camel query with your PNP power system. Okay, so we stop here and we'll connect in next session. Thank you.